him in the shed.
Well, howdy there, folks. Slick back here in the shed. I just cleaned the shed, and now here I go dirtying up the floor again with lumber. Well, we got another project going on, and the idea is, this is just wood that I found from the barn. I think I got enough of it to make what I was intending on creating, if you want to call it that. I'm reclaiming some barn wood to make a toy chest for both my kids. Not trying to make anything big. You know what? This is one of those projects where you figure out what size you want it to be as you go. I have a rough idea that I want it to be, well, I want it to be maybe, yeah, if we could do like a 3 foot wide by a 22-inch deep, maybe like 2 foot tall, and then maybe we want it off the ground by a couple inches. All right, well, never reclaimed barn wood. I know that's just a general term, but I got an idea in my mind of how I want this to be, and we'll get there. I just gotta, this is one of those, nothing to it but to do it. So here we go. Oh, careful now. Not sure I'm gonna be able to save all of this. Snag that part off. Yeah, this one's kind of nice. Shoot, these planks might have come off the barn at one point, to be honest with you. I don't know what Gramps would have used them for otherwise, so. I see there's red paint on some of them, and if any of you noticed from looking at the videos before, the barn is indeed red. So, that's a clue. I'm no Velma Dinkley, but I know a clue when I see one. I think I'm going to start by sanding off the old paint that's on there, because I know I need to do that. So that's good as a place to start tonight. Holy jeez Louise. Woo-wee. That was locked on. Ugh. Well, let's be gentle and just kind of give it a once over, and then I saw there was a finishing sander in there too, so maybe we do a pass with that after. Let this get the big stuff off? I don't know. I'm just goofing here. I'm thinking I need to blow this off too. Some air. Yep. Golly, I gotta open the door. Okie doke. Let's see what the finish sander looks like on that. This is 120 grit. Well, it's a new day. Had to stop what I was doing yesterday because my pad was just wearing down, getting clogged up. And when I went to inspect this sander, come to find out the backing plate's just tearing itself apart, just age and such. And I looked, there are no replacement parts for this sander. It's just obsolete at this point. So, as much as I really didn't want to, I still need to have enough material to build what we're building. I need to be able to get this paint off and get this piece ready as well. I'm basically using this entire piece. And to do that, you know, save time and whatnot, had to go out and get another sander from the old hobo. So, we're going to keep on keeping on with that. But, good thing is, this new one's got one of those little, you know, you can hook up your shop vac to it, and it's not going to just blow dust everywhere. So, hey, maybe we'll make out here a little bit. That ought to be nice. See how it works. Out with the old, in with the new. Ain't working out exactly how I'd have wanted it to. Maybe this first layer I need to use a stinking wire wheel. Now what are we looking like once we've gone through it? That's tough. All right, even using the wire wheel on the grinder is not getting the job done. So I got an assortment of tools here that I'm gonna see which one works best to be able to take this paint off. This is like a generic scraper that I got from the hobo, which by all accounts is doing the thing. But you know, maybe if you could get up under couple of these edge pieces first, it can probably be done. That does not seem like it's going to be most advantageous to us, so I got a couple other options. Okay, maybe you can get up underneath one of these pieces with one of these flat chisels. Same concept with the scraper, basically. Get a run on something like that. Still don't know if that's going to do it for us. Found one of these, a Stanley Sureform. I really couldn't tell you exactly what the point of one of these is, but I can't think of much else that would be better for this specific task. Kinda. I feel like this is something drywall related, not really even for wood. And then I see a hand planer here. That's more gooder. It is in fact working, especially on the straight up wood, but not the paint. So, scraper it is. This is when we use the vacuum. Just absolutely no good way to do that. How is that? Well, unfortunately, I think the quickest way to do this is to go through it with wire wheel and then come back through with the sander. It is what it is. Be here a little while. We'll get back with you. Well, that ought to be the last time I have to use a grinder on the carpet. Now I ought to be able to go through the sand on this board with that palm sander
get all those large gouge marks out. I kind of like the texture of this, especially where, you know, the wire started to get a little hot, burn into the board. Looks cool. If I was just gonna keep like a clear coat on the outside of it, I think this might be nice. But I'm not. That's not the plan. And I'm not gonna spend the time to do that on every single one of those boards. That takes way too long. Feels good. Good enough for who it's for.
Alright, so I've gone through, sanded down both sides of at least one board here, and we're gonna open up our wood conditioner from June 28th, 1994, and we're gonna use some wood stain, walnut colored, that 2003, September 2003. And we'll see what she looks like. And hopefully I got enough to go around. I really don't want to go out and buy any more, but whatever. A minute. I mean, stuff you're supposed to put on, let dry 5 to 15 minutes, then wipe off the excess, and then you need to stain it within 2 hours of the application. I don't know. Sure, man. Oh, wow. This just really darkens it. Must have already been something in here. I knew the stain when I was pulling it out of there was like a darker looking color anyway. Or the finish, you know what I'm saying? It looks cool. This is supposed to prepare it to be stained, but I like how that looks. I mean, I'd just be curious to see what it looks like when it dries. This dry barnwood's just kind of soaking all that up. So there is no excess, really. 5 minutes. That's got a nice color to it, doesn't it? I like that. I like it a lot. Alright, 5 minutes. Ish. Alright, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes has surpassed. Now let's use our stain from 2003, which I believe I shook up. Sure. That's kind of dark. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I think it just looks a lot better with just the conditioner on it, to be honest with you. I like it better with just the conditioner, and I think somebody was, you know, maybe they had the same idea that I do right now, and if I know my Gramps, he probably did. That conditioner smells very similar to this wood stain, and they look pretty close. So. Identical. It's almost as if somebody, you know, did a little titration, did a little mixy wixy in there, and got the stain down to a color that they were like, Can't argue with that. I'm gonna do that to one more board, and we'll see what that looks like in a couple days. See if that's how we want to keep it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Let's roll with that. Let's see what she looks like. I like how it's kind of accentuating what I was already seeing in the board in different areas. Cool. All right, well, let's roll with that on a different board, I guess. Well, we'll let that dry. See what that looks like after a couple days. Maybe that'll lighten up a little bit more than I want. I'm not really sure. I probably have just enough to get through 2 more of those boards, and that'll be, I mean, I'll be cutting it close. But if not, we'll make it a little bit darker and I can go get some more or what have you. But we're off to a good start. I'll get back with you. Alright, last I left you, we trimmed this board to size. It started to split down the middle, crack. So I've glued it back together, had clamped it for, that's been several days now, but coming back to it, take our clamps off, see how she's looking. Anticipating this is going to be our lid, but that had to be glued back together, this piece itself. I'm going to have to fix that. Maybe this would just be the underside, I'm not sure yet. And then this would get glued, this has to be, this one plus the other piece that we're gluing to it have to be ripped so that I can get them straight on both sides so that I can glue them together and plus give the correct width that I'm looking for. Yeah, this will be the top for sure, just because it looks nice in comparison. I don't want to take away the character from this board necessarily by trimming the sides, but it's really out of necessity. Oh, it feels good, by the way. It's fine. Do what I need it to do. Doesn't feel like it's just gonna break. I can give the old karate. Hi-ya! What if it just broke? No, it feels fine. I don't really like a table saw. I haven't used it that much, but try to be as safe as I can with everything I do. I love my appendages. It's always better to be cautious than complacent. I'll tell you that. The push stick also works as an on-off switch, so that's kind of cool. What is good is that we got a clean edge. Love that. Phrase of the day, cautious, not complacent. Eh? That is about as close as it's gonna get. Need to put these fellas together, glue them, go from there. I don't know how I'm gonna fill the gap between them, but we'll get there. Sounds like an advanced technique. I may not I don't know that I'm even gonna, I probably will fill it with something, I just don't know what yet. And then on the underside of these, I might put a couple support braces probably, that spans between the two, you know? Whatever. I'm trying here. Where's the glue? Whoa, settle down. Got my bar clamp. Whoa, hey there. Do they make Bondo for wood? They have to, right? I know that, I'm almost positive they do. I need some of that. I don't know about color matching it, but that seems like a Bob Ross happy mistake if I've ever heard of one. Okay. Perfecto. wish I had me another one of them, but it does not appear that I do. Well, it'll be fine. Well, hold on here. We got a pipe clamp. Hear me out. I don't know how this is gonna work, being the one in the middle, but never say never. Yeah, it's not gonna squeeze these together enough to do what I was thinking, but my other two little clamps will hold it tight enough to get it glued together there anyway. Well, that was not part of the plan. Yeah, we'll see what that does. All right. It's been a day. Take this apart, see if it held together at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, this clamp wasn't even connected. That's great. Well, this side was, I think. Yeah, good, good. Glad. Is it just gonna fall apart? Let me down easy. Oh! Huh. Looky there. Now, what we ought to do, I think, we ought to flip it over and I need to throw a couple strips across to kind of brace it between the two. Let me do that. Need to grab a couple strips. 1 second. Strips of something, I don't know. I'll find something. All right. More barn wood. Oh, cut into a little corner there. This is a furring strip. Isn't that what they call this? Usually used in home building type activities. Sure, we can make 2 of them, 16-inch long. You know, here. Bracing. How thick are these? Like 1 3/8. So, and my material is 7/8. Oh, if I could go at least 1 1/2. I need something like 1 1/2. 1 1/2, but not more than like 2. I got some 2-inch deck screws, right? Come on. I'll use this one as a guide for my second. First cut was a little straighter than the second one. That's fine. It's fine. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, so we're gonna just approximate. Sure, 4-inch in. And what, 2-inch? Oh yeah. Can I find anything smaller than the 2-inch? I don't want to bury that too deep. Went and found some that were just in a Ziploc. That's how Gramps used to do it. That's how we would roll. 1 1/2 inch. Yeah, that'll be a bit better, I believe. Grand. Nice. Okay, that makes me feel better. So yes, they're glued together, but they've also got some reinforcement on the back there. This doesn't have to be the sturdiest thing in the world, all right? It's not holding a truck on top of it, but maybe inside of it, you know, toy chest. All right, that's enough for today. It's also snowing really bad, so I gotta get home, drive. Oh, it's dark now too. All right, I'll see you next time. Oopsies. All right, so we've got our lid made at this point. Now we're just gonna work on getting our boards, what will be our front, back, both sides, and bottom, to be a consistent width, and we're gonna cut them. First thing I'll do is cut them to size so they're a little bit more manageable. Then I will rip them to be the same consistent width. They're all gonna be 10-inch wide so that it's easy for me to make them into, I can stack them one on top of each other to make up for 20-inch tall, and 20-inch tall, 20-inch depth, width, however you want to call it. I'm just gonna nix off the end of these ones that are looking a little bit rough, and then I'll basically throw them so that I have both 30-inch length, because it's gonna be 30-inch long on 3 sides, front, the back, and the bottom, and then 20-inch length on either side. probably making this way more difficult than it needs to be, but that's just kind of my status quo. Yeah, one of those is gonna have an edge slightly longer than the others, which I suppose I could just cut off later. All right, there's those guys. Now, we need 6 30-inch lengths. I'm gonna trim a baby edge off that far side that does not look as good as this one. So I could get another 30 out of this, but I need, number one, I need 2 more. And number 2, since it's the bottom, I'm not concerned about thickness, and I'm not concerned that it really looks that different. I don't want to use this board because it's just splitting apart and I'd have to clamp glue it together. I've already done that, and I may have to do that on one other board, so I guess I'm just trying to avoid it. It's not out of the question. It's good to have options. But what I plan to do now, so we take our other board that's laying over here, and I cut my 230s out of that. This is slightly under 10 inches, so that's not fun. Well, we'll get creative with the bottom, is what I'm thinking. Not sure exactly how I want to address that yet, but it's 1 inch thick. That's a thick old board. Guess we are using this, and we'll just do what we can. I need 1 more out of this. Yeah, that huge crack stops about right where I'm cutting, so it'll be all right. A little bit too thin, but we'll figure it out. I've got to do what I've got to do. Full moon out tonight, I hear. Boards need to be ripped. So let's do that. I need to mark them out first, and then I'll get them over there and we'll get a ripping. This time I am just gonna do one, rip it to size, and then use it as a template for the others. Let me put some Ear Pro on, because I'm a smart cookie. I like my ears and my hearing, role model and such. I try. Tell you what, I don't think this is going to be a good model. One side of the board is a little wavy, I believe. Close enough. Close enough for who it's for. You know, when you got a board that just okay. Go with the flattest side I have, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, at least they're all approximately the same now. I was thinking now for these guys, maybe just to have some extra width, I can throw these pieces on them. because they're the same length. I just need a little extra width. Glue them together, then screw them together, or nail them, whatever. And then that gives us a little extra. Getting creative with it. How big? Yeah, I got more than an inch on these. It'll be fine. And then when I got them on the bottom, if there's any excess, like overhang or what have you, I'll just trim it off. Like you were doing a deck or something and you had excess deck boards hanging off. Right off there. It'll be fine. Catch you on the next one. All right. Got my abomination here. It's been gluing overnight. I gotta do this one more time. So we'll do that quick, get it started. And then I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna start assembling. Whoa, uh-oh. Can't lose that. Okay, yeah, it's glued together. I'm gonna take the best looking side and we'll glue to that. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Sleigh bells in the snow, and may your Christmas be white. All right, that's enough of that. All right, that'll do. Donkey. Now, I don't know. Why don't we start putting something together, I guess? Try. So I want to separate my long and short boards here. So my short ones, here's the long ones. Gonna have to use a sander on these or like a planer or whatever when we get to the end because they're not all exactly the same. They're not all perfect. None of that around here. You understand? I also just don't have a like perfectly level surface to be working off of, so. Well, here's a question. How would one normally keep these together, you know? Because say you're gonna pre-drill them or whatever. How would you usually pass just holding them together with your hands? I don't know how do you clamp that into a corner? I'm no carpenter, but for any that are, and you know, I'm surprised if you stayed this long, but if you did, what am I supposed to use for that? I'm just gonna hold it, because what else am I gonna do? All right, let us just remember, this is not gonna be perfect. I've got 1 1/4 inch solid brass wood screws, just because I thought it looked cool. Matches the color, I thought. Well, this one, unfortunately, because of the longer crack that's running through that, I might have to, what I'm thinking of doing is throwing a little bit of glue inside of that, clamping this together to make it a little structurally sound. So I'm thinking, just kind of open her up here a bit. Just run a very thin bead along where that joint is, if that's what you want to call it. Seam, joint, I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. It's gonna be, you can sand this off later. Kind of painstaking work, honestly, but I don't know if this is the proper way for this to be done, but it's the way that I'm doing it. So far it seems like woodworking projects kind of larger margin for error. It's kind of hard to really goof something up, because you can always kind of just redo it. Right, C-clamp. I don't even know if this will be big enough. Dang it. Darn. What can I do? All right, somebody's gonna get a kick out of this. Got an idea. I hope you can tell what I'm going for now. I just need to not overdo it. No crazy clamping force here. There we go. I got a good idea every now and then. Well, if you don't have an extra clamp, you just gotta get a tractor and a jack. That's it. That's how you do it. Moving right along. Oh, I got glue on my... Oh no. That'll be fine. Stand by. I'm eyeballing this whole thing, by the way. Kind of an excessive. Oh, Lord. That's just what I found, okay? Okay. Where was I at now? Like so? Yeah. Relax. We're good there. Now, if it doesn't look perfect right where that joint is, that's because of the way that it is. And yeah, it's fixable with you can just sand that down too. All right, we got a box. And I'm gonna take these that we made. Oh yeah. Like a glove. Not really, but gotta be smarter than the boards. Secure these to the bottom. Still needs to come down. I don't know how noticeable that's gonna be on the bottom, so I'm just... Got one portion of the bottom secured. Notice how it's kind of bowed out up here a little bit. Not a huge deal. It's the bottom, right? And especially if it's bowing out this way towards what would be the bottom, it's fine. Just holding up toys in there. It wouldn't really matter if it was bowed out the other way. Shoot. Regardless, what we're doing now, we're gonna line up our other piece that we have that's glued together. Get it lined up on one side. It's not fitting in there, you know, perfect or anything. Nothing about this so far has been. But at least on one side here, looking pretty good. About lined up. And the intent, so I'll get this secured, both sides, and then I can come off with my circular saw and just trim off what we don't need of this extra piece. It's a thought anyway. Throw a couple more screws in there and keep moving. I feel better doing that with like a jigsaw, though. I'd feel better. I would feel much better doing it that way. I feel like I'm gonna be able to manipulate it better. You know, more of a chance of it being wavy that way, though. Handsaw? Maybe this is a good handsaw moment. I mean, I got one. Couldn't tell you the last time this would have been sharpened either, but this has got to be like a great-grandfather, if not great-great-grandfathers, or older. I like it. Picasso. Let's make it easier to sand off whatever excess I got. I got a quicker idea. Should have just done this in the first place. Figuring it out as I go. Well, it's kind of rocking the whole thing. Okay, maybe not. I think I can plane that down now. Ooh. I don't know. Is this how you do this? I have no idea what I'm doing. Plane. Plane. Oh, it's doing a thing. Yeah. Kinda. They make a power tool that does this. Called a planer. I definitely could have shaved this section down a little bit more. I'm going to be here for a while. That's alright. This would be good kindling. You can get a better idea of what's going on here. We got like yay gap. I mean, it ain't perfect, but that's not looking half bad there, buddy. Wow. I'm not gonna get too greedy here. Got a tiny bit of rash on this side that I'll have to clean up with the sander now. Call me greedy. All right, Let's see if we can't get this finished up today, huh? I could use my box to start holding stuff now. First box I ever made, by the way. For what that's worth. Okay, while we're waiting for our last side board to dry, I want to just clean up any of the edges and then stain or end grains. Just give them a little, you know what I mean? A little something. Make everything look nice. This is a super fine, well, not super fine, but it feels fine grit. I think it's 1,000. Kind of hard to tell. Just barely, just gonna kiss the surface. I don't know, I like the idea of hand sanding this stuff. It makes me feel, I don't know, it just makes it feel more crafted, more personalized. Going with the grain of the wood. I basically just wanted to take away how abrasive that was, smooth that back down. That feels fine. Might just go along this edge right here. That was rough cut still looking after I planed it, hand planed it. I don't know if that's right terminology. Making it up as I go. I suppose this is why they make wood files too, right? It's all coming together. See if I can find a wood file. There we go. Got a couple of wood files. Wow, I think you'd call them rasps, right? I don't really have handles for them either, and I'm just kind of guessing here, but yeah, then I can come through and sand these later after I've kind of controlled my edges into what I want them to be. Again, carpenters, go ahead, laugh. Just kind of rounding off the edges of the top of my post here. So if the kids reach in to get a toy or what have you, they're not going to catch themselves on that. Trying to look out for the kids. I love being able to make something out of nothing with, I mean, fairly minimal tools. Makes me feel cool. There. That's just a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Do the same thing down here, basically. I'm working with imperfect wood, so being able to kind of shape this a little bit is helpful. And even if I was working with perfect wood, I don't have the skill level yet to be able to get something perfect on the first go around. But knowing how to fix it, or shape it, mold it, make it look halfway decent, that's all you need. And guess what? You can do that with hand tools. So just try it. This is the first time I've ever done this, first box, and look at it, it's looking halfway decent. Don't let your lack of experience stop you. Gotta try. Oh yeah, so much better than it was. Rough this up a bit. Or smooth it, rather. Roughing in some areas and smoothing in others. I don't know. Don't be afraid to use sandpaper, all right? Ain't the most expensive thing in the world. These are the little types of details that I doubt anybody else really cares about, but that it would bother me knowing that I could have done something about that, and it was so simple for me to be able to fix it, and I did nothing. Nice smooth edge. Okay, so last we left I ran into a bit of a conundrum. So here's the thing. The lid. Look, it ended up being just, I mean, just a hair shorter than I really wanted, or maybe this, you know, a little too big. I need to put my final side on, but then we're gonna have to address this lid. I want to get the final side on so that we can have everything squeezed together, best it can be. Get a better idea of what do I need to do to make this fit. What I'm thinking is that, okay, the way I'm going to hinge this is we're going to use a piano hinge, and to do that I need to have a flat side on the back. I like the textured here, but this is probably going to be towards the back, so what I'll probably do is just rip this, use this whole dang lid, rip it on the table saw, and if I can fit it anyway, and make this a flat edge. Then the front here will be like our lid side, but what I'll need to do to kind of make this a bit longer is I was thinking that I can try to attach this to the front, just give ourselves a little bit more of an extension. And I was trying to get this to be glued on there, but since I didn't have my flat edge to grab on, there's no way for me to clamp it together. So what I might have to end up doing is running some shorter supports that would extend out from here, fit underneath, so it'd span the distance between, you know, here to there, just like we're basically doing with these here, and make them together as one. And then once I have those supports underneath, then everything's, you know, butted up closer together. I can potentially drill through these, secure them. I don't know, I'll figure that out. But what I know I need to start with to try to push through this, put that last side on. Not terrible. Wavy boards. So I can cut this off with a circular saw. Woohoo! Length, perfect. Width, gotta cut some off the top here. Okay, I need to glue up this one now because this one just didn't end up being right, but fine. Huh? What if I just set something heavier on it, you know? Would that do? Like a weight? This is fitting. Old pistons from Sally. Not heavy enough. Maybe several. There's just not a lot of weight to them. Okay, I got the entire, you know, left bank sitting on it. Prevent it from bowing out so much. You know what? I think that'll do, Clark. Well, it's gonna have to, really. That's all there is to it. I'm just gonna have to roll with doing the lid now. Lid is too big to fit on and be ripped on the table saw, so I guess we're gonna see if we can just do it on the sawhorse here. Measured twice, I'm gonna cut once, and this better be the straightest cut I have ever made in my entire life. Very nervous, very nervous. It is perfect from here to about right there. And you know what? I think I can make that work. Gives it character, I guess. Best I could do with my limited experience. But I got a nice flat edge otherwise. Oh, I was sweating bullets with that one. Gotta figure out how am I extending the front. And here's the thought, is that we take this. I'm gonna have to like sand the glue off that I was originally using to try to bond them together. How am I gonna do this? Because that's kind of at an angle too. I'm gonna need to do the same thing to this side. I might have to. Take the bevel off that side too. Dang it. I did it once, you can do it again. No way. No way that just started happening to me. Well, I gotta take a walk. Go back to my drawing board for a minute and reevaluate my options. All right, so I've had a day to kind of just walk away. That's something Gramps would always preach to me is, you know, Cole, sometimes you just gotta walk away from it and be able to come back with a clear head. And he was right, 99% of the time. And so I've come back and realized what my plan of attack is gonna be. So I lopped off anything that was broken from our deck lid, from our lid, and planed down with the hand planer this side, because it was all kind of jagged from where it broke off. And what my plan is that I got another barn board that I scrounged around, found, but that I'm gonna have to take the edge off, cut the end off. So I'm gonna cut it to size first, then, you know, strip the outer layer off like I did with the previous board, sand it down, get it coated, and start assembling. I mean, we're running out of time, so we're gonna do the best we can, but that's the plan for now. I considered going out, just getting, you know, one solid board from somewhere. That's just not cost effective, and it kind of defeats the purpose of what we're going for here. I'm gonna try to make it happen with everything that I got lying around to show you that somebody who doesn't have any carpentry experience can do it too. You know, they say that making a rectangle or a box or whatever is one of the hardest things you can do, just because everything, it's not an exact science, but if you want everything to fit up just right, which that's not exactly what I'm going for, is one of the most difficult things you can do. There's so many angles involved. There's so many surfaces that need to fit together. We're doing what we can. Without further ado, the side that I want to utilize will be the side with the least amount of nail holes in it. And then I want to give us a little grace. I'm going to cut this off at 33 inch. I have a pretty defined edge to follow if I could just keep her straight. We'll try. I see my skills improving by the second. For whatever reason, that did not go totally through. Just my blade depth slightly. Basically doing a plunge cut. That went about as good as it's gonna go. I got the respirator, I should probably wear it if there's paint flying. Try to be a good role model here. All right. That's something I can work with. I'm mixing up a new tincture right now. Just gonna give this a splash. Why did I do it over the workpiece? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Pretty much what it looked like before. Hello.
Hi, it's Slick.
Hey, what's up, Grandma?
Well, are you working on your toy chest?
Oh, you're darn right I am.
Hey, listen.
You got it, Grandma.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye. Hello, Grandma. If you're new here, do you see where the slick comes from now? Okay. Looking good in the hood. Now, let's get it attached, shall we? Cool, man. So I still got room to put some glue in here, glue these together, which is probably what I'll do. Huh, must have forgot that I needed a... 1 second. Bowed pieces of wood, man. Yeah, buddy. Nothing but a peanut. Yeah, buddy. Ooh. Secure that up. Now, what I think I need to do, I need to get that lid clamped and going. That's what we'll do. Let's start to get our hinge situated here. The way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna take some painter's tape and I'm gonna mark, and then I'm gonna go like an inch, not an inch, a 1/16 of an inch in from like the edge of the board. I might just scribe that. Maybe like an 1/8 actually. I'm gonna go cut this now. See if I can get this cut off with a hacksaw. Cole, where are you gonna do that at? I'm not sure yet. I suppose you could use a cutoff wheel or whatever too. This just seemed like a good idea. Yeah, maybe a clamp would have been nice, Cole. Just gonna have to file that burr off the end. Okay, one down, one to go. Hee-haw. We're gonna go through and use a, I'm thinking we start off using a spring punch to mark our holes. I'm gonna find what looks to be the center of the hole and spring punch them. You know, that's not what I need to do. This gives a bit too much of a boom wallop. That's why you learn by do. I need something a little bit more gentle. I will use a punch, a manual punch, and just be a little bit more gentle. Okay. Now I need to know how deep we need to drill in with our 5/64 bit. All right, well, let me see if I can snag the lid on. I don't want to goof it because I had that glue set up, but it's been several hours now. It's been clamped together. You're not supposed to stress with this glue, you're not supposed to stress the joints for X amount of time. I think it says 24 hours, but I don't have 24 hours to not stress the joints. I can let this just sit for longer. I ought to turn this on its side and get some like legs done because this thing wobbles a little bit. Nothing special. Give me the beat, boys, free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. All right, I don't know how this is gonna go. We're about to find out. At least I can say it has feet. Yeah, but I mean, kind of expect a. You know, this really isn't turning out half bad. I mean, it could be so much worse. I gotta take some credit, just a little. It's perfect by no means, but boy is she looking decent. Goodness, for just, you know, a whole bunch of wood that I found. I don't know, man. The imperfections are kind of what's giving it the character that I'm really enjoying too. I'm just happy, very happy. That's the point, should be happy. Okay, I got handles. Couple things. Installing our handles on both sides. I just figured, you know, it'd be nice to be able to pick this thing up and carry it if I need to. So make that functional. Could always, I mean, I got a built-in handle underneath down here, but then it becomes awkward to carry. So maybe better to throw some handles in there. But before I do that, what I want to do is I'm going to tilt this down, sand on the inside while I've got it here, and maybe throw more of that conditioner on the inside, just because I feel like it. I was initially thinking, you know, why would I do that? Why would I condition the inside of it? Who cares? It's just gonna hold the toys. Because I feel like it, that's why. So I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna sand the glue that would have been on the inside there, throw some conditioner on the inside of that because it'll make me feel better. Then I'll go through and detail the outsides, you know, do more min-wax there, maybe do another coat on the outside, put our handles in, throw the lid on, vacuum it out. Call her good. I'll be back with you. We got the lid on there. You notice the sides are a little bit darker. That's by design. I went through, like I said, and did another coat, and I used a little bit of a walnut stain mixed in with the conditioner. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I did. We'll see how that works. Now I'm gonna go through and punch out where I want my screws to be on the lid, and then we'll get this secure. I need to have something as far as weight sit on top of this for me. This feels like it's approximately 10 pounds, like it's a piece of a pump housing or something. That'd be just fine. Drill my holes. Okay, add my screws. I like that all the hardware matches. Well, the stuff that you see anyway. Okay, now what I don't want to do is stress this joint, okay? Because I'm not supposed to. Both sides here, just to make sure the hinge is working like it should. Cool. Very nice. Okay, besides the handles, I need to just install this soft close in here on the side. So we'll do that. Boy, this just barely worked out in my favor. I can't see a darn thing. Jeez, about went over. Giddy up. Huh? Huh? Watch this. Jeez Louise. Let me, you know, do one of these and then we'll go from there. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna throw some handles on the side of it, but this is basically where I'm gonna call it. Pretty proud of that right there. Nothing about it was perfect, right? But that was the whole point, to show some other guy, gal, father, mother, grandparent, brother, sister, whatever, that you don't have to know how to do carpentry professionally to go out and make something nice. If you have some material sitting around and you have a basic idea of how to use the tools around you, you can make something. You can make something decent. And most importantly, I guess, it's to encourage somebody else to want to go out and do something for their kids as well. I hope that mine are able to look back at the video, but this in the future and know that, oh yeah, no, Dad wasn't a, carpenter by trade or anything, but he could still go out and do something, And yeah, could you have bought something like this for less than $500 for sure? Probably, yeah. But is it worth your time? Well, I don't know. I guess that's kind of up to you. It took me, I can tell you, this is like the 12th day that I've been out filming. And today has probably been like close to 8 hours, and every other day is probably at least like 2, if not 3. So you do the math. There's a lot of time, but taking into consideration, I know how to use basic hand tools to make something work, but it takes me a long time. It's not like I do this every day. A lot of the tools I used, like the planer, that palm sander and whatnot, I rarely use those. And so little that I really don't know how best to manipulate them. I'm no expert on it, but guess what? You don't have to be an expert on any of it either. Just have a basic understanding of how some of those operate and be able to endeavor to persevere and adapt and overcome. And you'd be just fine. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, sorry to any carpenters that I probably annoyed, ticked off, or what have you. And a special thank you to my father-in-law, Tim. Thank you for the idea on the continuous hinge, piano hinge on the back end, and for the insight. And you know what? Had it not been for him several years ago helping to broaden my carpentry experience, I wouldn't have really even wanted to dive into doing something like this more hands-on. And so thank you for that, Tim. You gave me the motivation and encouragement to want to broaden my carpentry horizons as well, so that I could do something nice for the kids. So thank you. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Take care. Do you want more? Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's got pretty colors. On this for you for a long time. You know that, right? Okay.
This one?
Yeah, it's that big thing. So whenever you're ready, you go ahead and you take all those off. Daddy made this chest for you so you can put all your toys in there.